Peace, everybody. Good to see you all. Shout out to everybody that came through, all the Amphibians. Let me get my A in there. Say word. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. What
Well,
up,
good
Troy?
morning to you.
Good. Yeah, good evening, everybody. It's morning over here, so please excuse the eyes and everything. But I'm 6 hours ahead, so it's like 1 a.m. here. But
Yep.
yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Well worth it.
Straight from Amsterdam, y'all.
Straight from the Amsterdam. Let me get my
You
DJ in
know?
there. You
My
know.
man. My
Yeah.
man Keyote. Word
What's
up.
up, everybody?
Let's
Yeah.
start this joint.
Yeah. Cool.
So first question, where are you from?
Washington, D.C., Georgetown University Hospital, by way of the same man who delivered the Kennedy kids, if you know that for a fact. That blew my mind. My mom hit me up with that. Like, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
same person that delivered the Kennedy kids delivered you. I was like, well, I guess I was in good hands. So
Wow.
that's cool. Yeah. So
What
I was
is
actually
oh god.
born a couple blocks from where you used to live.
Oh my gosh. In Georgetown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
near I was on 31st, I think
Mhm.
31st and M.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like right up the road, maybe I don't know, maybe 5-10 minute walk, man. So
Word.
yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, I'm in my PJs, Troy. Yo, I'm in my relaxed gear with my I'm in my relaxed gear. It's it's well worth it though. Well worth it. You know.
Word. What inspired you to become an MC?
Hmm. Hip hop in general. Breakdancing and looking for an outlet. Black youth, brown youth, all youth, looking for an outlet at that time when you're coming of age in a way and you want to express yourself. I started out breakdancing first, I think. And then from breakdancing, um, the style and the music, I was drawn to come make trips to New York, make trips to Philly, finding new beats, finding new MCs, really appreciating the DJ because the DJ is, still the backbone of what we do. I
Mm-hmm.
got into some graffiti art for a while, just trying to embrace the culture, all aspects of it. African Bambaataa, the peace, unity, love, and having fun. That was almost biblical for me. So I got
Right.
into it, I think, around 13, 14, 15 years old, listening to people rhyme on beats and then going, I don't like what he really said. I think I can do it better, or I can change it, improve
Mm-hmm.
it, or I like to write anyway. I've been writing since I was 9 years old. I got published. My first pieces were published when I was like 8 or 9. So it seemed like a perfect match for me about
What,
13,
what,
14.
what was your first MC name?
I didn't have an MC name. I had a hi mom. I see mom is in the house. Grace Edwards. What's up, mom? My name was Steve O just because of Big Jessica. That's where that came from. I didn't have an MC name. It was just Big Jessica said that's Steve O, and then that stuck for many years. So before anything else, I was that. And then after that, being really literary and studying the dictionary, following MCs like Supernatural and other people who walked around reading rhyming dictionaries. I read the regular dictionary,
Mm-hmm.
and I came upon the word indeed, and indeed meaning in truth and in reality and in fact. I was like, well, I'm not one of these gangster cats that's going to talk about stuff I didn't do. So I'm going to be in truth and in reality and in fact. So that's where Indeed came from. And that was the first MC name probably when I was like
So
8.
indeed it wasn't Steve O.
Well, Steve O was the name anyway. I mean, Jessica, if you ask her today, I could be 85 years old and have like 40 AKAs before that. She'll always call me Steve O. And then that will, Steve O. Oh, and it's a done deal. So, yeah, all of U Street, shout out to U Street,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
massive state of the
Okay,
union.
so
all that.
Okay, so you went by Steve O, but like Indeed was like really
Yeah,
your
when I
thought
started
out
really
MC name.
writing
Right.
rhymes and making songs, it was Indeed. So
Okay, there you have it. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? This difference between Steve
yeah,
O and Indeed.
yeah. Man, Indeed was like my superhero name when I threw on a cape, but Steve O was the Clark Kent of the thing. It was just
Right. But Indeed, you had a meaning, right? There was a meaning
yeah,
behind it.
it's definitely because I didn't want to be I didn't want to be known for saying stuff that I hadn't lived through or that I wasn't about. I mean, I was
Mm-hmm.
a good observer, so I could observe and then report, but I wasn't doing a lot of the stuff that I had heard other people were rhyming about, and I wasn't going to be one of those guys out there beating my chest, and then somebody else was like, "Let me knock him off because he's doing this," or I wasn't all in super lady man type dude, and I wasn't doing that either. I was
Right, right.
more of a I'm going to observe and try to use my imagination, push this pen, and then get people to think a little bit. So that's what I did.
Word. You were working at WPGC like in
Hmm.
the earlier time. Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like what did you do over there?
I was a production person over there. I was a producer. I worked with Tigger. I worked with LBD. I worked with pretty much everybody that was over there. Anybody that would give me a shot um, and let me produce for them, I did. I produced a talk show called Yo Listen Up for LBD for a number of years. I produced it when Tigger took over. I got guests, I got information, did a lot of research for them so that they could sound really informed about their opinions. I screened the calls for the guests that came on. So I did everything in terms of production for the only the talk show, but not only the talk show, but also for some of the other music that was going on over there. So I had a lot of I observed a lot of things, got to meet a lot of people working there, especially during the 90s.
Right.
I was there for the Howard Homecoming when Biggie released The What. I
Mm.
was there freestyling with them, Method Man, Inspector Deck, Missy Elliott, Salt and Pepper, like a lot of people, nice and smooth,
So
Dr.
you got to
Rex.
meet all these people while
Yeah,
working over there.
yeah. That opened my eyes up to a lot of things because you I thought Scarface was um, I really wanted to get at him because there was some things that he said that I didn't really I didn't really believe in or I didn't think were honest and true. And then when I sat down and talked to him, that was one of the realest cats I ever met. Period.
Right.
Um, and I understood, basically why he had said what he said. And then there were other people that I believed in, highly and held in this high esteem. And then I saw them when then they were falling off. Like I was like, what's wrong with this person? So took away a lot of my naivete,
Right.
and I learned a lot about the music business. I learned that the hot stuff usually doesn't get on air. And I fought really, really hard and diligently for cuts that I thought really needed to be on the air, and it was basically based on money and grift. So I learned a lot. My eyes got opened by the DJs that were working there. It was a great experience, and I got to meet people that led me to keep coming down to U Street. Man, I met people working for Straight for the Street. That's how I got into Straight for the Street.
Right, right. We're going to talk about that actually
Yeah,
next.
so
What is
that got me down to U Street in a little bit. So
well, explain to everybody what straight in the street or remind everybody what straight off the streets was.
yeah, straight off the street, straight from the street was a magazine that produced content like a not a month like a monthly. It's more like a monthly, and whenever people came to town to do promotions or tours, they would send reporters out to interview those people and then rate their shows and talk about what they saw at their shows and just give people sort of like a music magazine from a
Hmm.
DC's perspective.
Word.
So
What was your role?
I was one of the reporters, and that's how I ran into my main man, my best friend to the end, Troy L. Thompson, who,
Big up Troy.
yeah, big up
Troy's in the
Troy.
place.
Yeah, best friend for over 25 years. Non-paid reporters. He is correct about that. We were non-paid reporters, and everything we did was basically, yeah, we spent all our gas money. We spent our change in order to get to these things. Sometimes we got tickets. Sometimes we got tickets to get in, and then we would work on it from there. And that's how I bonded with him. And we wrote up articles on Diggable Planets. We met the Roots that way when they dropped. Diggable Planets was the second album, which was amazing to meet
Oh my
them.
gosh, yeah, Blowout Cone,
Yeah, when
right?
the Blowout Cone was
Woo.
the tour for the Blowout Cone with the live band was, and I think Jazzy Joyce was on the wheels for them, which was
Right.
that was a revelation in itself. So then later we got the Roots when they did Do You Want More, and that was just an amazing experience being able to sit with them in their hotel rooms, meet Rozelle, meet everybody. They were so fly and so down to earth, and to see where they are now is just an amazing thing. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's dope. What is Freestyle Union?
Freestyle Union. I ran into Freestyle Union and started hanging out with them, and Troy was with me. We started hanging out at HR 57, which was the jazz museum in DC, downtown. I can't remember the street. I think it's like 8th Street or something. And we would roll down there after hours, I think once a week on Tuesdays or so. And I was also doing not hip hop. I was doing poetry at It's Your Mug. That's where I was doing poetry.
Right.
And then from It's Your Mug, some nights we would go there, and then other nights we would end up going down to HR 57. At HR 57, that's where the ciphers for Freestyle Union were being held. So shout out to Tony Blackman and Kokai and Sub Z
Priest,
and Phalo Blue and Priest and everybody, all the beat makers that were coming through, Orbit 112, like everybody, Zach, everybody, the whole squad. So we were all down there, and that's where I ran into Hibernation. That's where I ran into Shatungwa. That's where I ran into Steve. That's where I ran into Cyrus and Randy. And just by location, we started to hook up because they lived in Riverdale. I was staying in Lanham, and Troy was on the other side, on a little bit on outside, like Bowie. And we started linking up and writing songs.
Right. They were okay. So they were in Maryland.
Yeah. We were the Maryland side.
Mostly in Maryland side. Yeah. Word up.
Yeah. Oh man! And of course, I met Rashad, and I met Alien. I met Khalil there. I mean, that's the Venture brother. Instead of the A, it was the V, man. That's the Venture brother. That's the brother that came over here with me. I met all of them down there.
Right. We'll definitely get into that. Yeah. What is your memories of U Street?
U Street, oh, hold up. I got a mosquito problem. I'm about to handle this dude because he's going to handle me later. No. U Street was beautiful, man. U Street, it still is beautiful. My memories of U Street are based on not even Ben and Mo's. My U Street history is like Copper House. My U Street history is Ben and Jerry. It's Ben's Chili Bowl.
Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ben and Jerry's, but ain't no Jerry in it. But Ben's Chili Bowl. My history for U Street is, of course, the greatest of all places to me is State of the Union.
Right.
And those places were incubators for style. They were incubators for DC hip hop. They were incubators for freestyling. They were incubators before Nyala. They were incubators before, and you got to see people, and you, even if you didn't know them personally, you knew them by face. So if the event was hot and the event was going to be dope, you knew, oh, he's going to be there or she's going to be there, and you expected to see each other. So you knew they were just like wallpaper. You know what I mean? There were certain people that you would just see. Big Jessica was going to be there. Who else was going to be there? She was going to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, they were just going to be there. So you're like, oh, this event is popping because we know the squad is here, the people are here, the
It's like
regulars are here.
U Street basically
The family
was
there.
small. It was like a
Yeah,
small.
yeah.
If you think about it, it's a small street,
Small
but with a
street.
lot of different venues.
Right. And they were all
Right.
packed next to each other, and everybody went out to eat together afterwards. We would end up on Columbia Road or something. You know what I mean? Miss Lim was in there. I know she was Miss Shauna Lim. She was in there dancing all over the place. Me too. So, you know, those were the days of, I got to shout out to people that we missing, you know. I got to shout out to my man, Sam the Man Burns.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Sam the Man Burns. People like that just DJs that were down there, Josh Sonic. I mean, you know, everybody knows the Vibe Conductor. My man was always doing his thing down there. So yeah, U Street meant a lot because it gave us a safe space and a haven for everybody to sort of develop their talents, to get their style together, to be individuals but still be part of a collective. The same people that you saw at poetry readings or at ciphers, you could then see them on the block at 3 o'clock in the morning. You may end up at somebody's house crashing, working on music with them, or just hanging out because, you know, just going home or whatever. So it was definitely it was our block, man.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
our set of
Definitely, it was like an
streets.
art block. If no one knew about it, then they didn't really know
Right.
about the art music scene in DC.
What up, Khalil? See, there
Or
go the Venture Brother right there. There you go. There you go. There go the Venture Brother right there.
How
Renell, all
about
everybody.
your Nyala experience?
Ooh, I had some experience in Nyala, but I will tell you this. Most of the time that I was down in Nyala, it was either before things really got warm or after things really were closing down. Because at that time, your man was buying a house. So what I was doing was I was actually leaving Nyala's probably around 11 or so. And I was riding out to Virginia, working overnight every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So a lot of the Nyala experience, I would see it later, or I was part of it in the beginning, and then before, you know, responsibility came, I was like,
Right.
So I missed a lot of the battles and stuff like that I
Oh.
wanted to be a part of. But HL and them were holding down beats and everything, and I was just like, damn, man, I really want to stick around and stay. But I knew if I wanted to buy a house, I had to handle my business and be
Right,
an
definitely. So
adult.
you were focused on getting a house while we were doing Nyala.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You missed the W Street battle where we all almost got killed.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah, I had my run-ins anyway, but yeah, y'all took that one. I was like,
Yeah. Word. All right, let's talk about hibernation. Like you briefly spoke about how you guys met through Freestyle Union and how you guys were mostly in Maryland, right? Lived in Maryland.
Mostly in Maryland. Yeah.
What was the experience? What was the experience recording at Randy's or Rub Love's? Sorry, Rub's house.
It's exactly what any. I think there's no city, and there's no city that doesn't have a place like that has hip hop. If you have hip hop, you have a spot like Randy's Rubs, where artists get together, whether they're affiliated with other crews or not, it didn't matter. They met in the basement after hours, eating from 7-Eleven, and waiting for the vibe to come. Somebody
Right.
was down there making a beat, chopping something, finding some new records, even some old samples or whatever, and then putting things together. And it's sort of like you get in sort of not a trance, but you get in this flow of things where you're like, this influences. This is what I've been going through this week. This is where this is leading me. So then this beat comes out, and it's almost like a dog whistle, because everybody that hears it, when they hear it, they're like, that's it right there. And then you leave that on a loop, and everybody gets to writing. So sometimes there's a topic, sometimes there was a definite point to what we wanted to talk about or what we wanted to rhyme about. But sometimes it was just spontaneous. Okay, I got a verse. You got a verse? Yeah. What did you end your verse with? Okay, I ended my verse with this line. So now I'm going to take that next word that you had, and I'm going to start the next verse with that same subject or whatever.
That's dope. Like,
Yeah, but going down in that basement, man, I mean, everybody was always there.
yeah.
Sometimes
I
everybody
remember when we recorded it 0 Degrees.
0 degrees. And then sometimes the songs, we titled them sometimes after the song was done, or sometimes we titled them just because that's what it felt like in the moment. You know
Right.
how it was. You was there.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
it was a beautiful thing, because I think the same can be said for basements in Brooklyn. The same can be said for basements in Seattle. The same can be
Right.
said for basements in LA or wherever else you want to
I
put
mean, it
in
was pretty
Atlanta.
interesting because we would well, for example, the song 0 Degrees had a lot of people. There was version 1 and 2
Yeah.
we did, and we would write on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's par for the course, man. That's how you sharpen your blades. That's how you sharpen your blades. You write amongst other artists who are also writing, and then
Right.
you want to say, nah, wait a minute, I gotta up my game. I can't. Oh, shout out to Earth One. Oh, word, Earth One in the house. Earth One, come on.
So let's talk about a little bit about the hibernation tape.
Yeah.
You tell
I
us the
have it. I
story
still
about the
got it here.
hibernation tape.
The hibernation tape is definitely in the house. Yeah, the hibernation tape was a labor of love. I'll just say it like that. I knew I was dedicated to this hip hop thing, and that really tested it and put it to a point. The things we did in Randy's basement, that sharpened us up, and some of those tracks we got together and professionalized it.
Right.
And then went to another studio in Virginia and got those things recorded. By I think if I remember correctly, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the dude's name was Stick, and Stick did the engineering on the live recording there, and we basically had 5 songs on there, 4 or 5 songs on there, and there came a time when at the end I was like, oh man, I want to be on this joint so bad. But Cyrus was super perfectionist on beats, worse than the RZA. Worse than the RZA. Yeah, Sticks. I was right. Yeah. Shout out to C Popular, the popular. Yeah, man. It was Sticks. I know my brain. I'm old, but I got it. Yeah. So Sticks was the engineer. But anyway, we ran out of yeah, with Cyrus. Cyrus was like, yeah, this beat is almost ready, but it's not ready. So I didn't get a beat. So luckily, Shatunga had my back, and we went in there, and I just did like almost an acapella verse. He beatboxed, and I just did a verse that I had in my head, and we put it on the end of the tape. And that tape we put together, I think, 96, something like that, 96. And me and that guy, C Pop, we stomped up and down the blocks of Howard University with my cell phone number on the back of the tape, and literally told, like, look, tape is $5. It's 5 tracks. If you don't like what you hear, call me. This is my cell phone number. You get your money back. if you can tell me why you gonna like this tape, because we believe in it that much. And that tape circulated into the early 2000s because I had phone calls on my old cell phone till like 2004 or 5. Cats was calling me from Tampa, Florida. The tape was in other countries, and I was like, I don't know how, but there were a limited amount of copies, and they just keep. I got calls from Seattle. I got calls from other just off that tape, and people asking, is there any more music?
Mm-hmm.
So I was really proud of that. I was proud of us grinding it. I'm proud of us putting it out, and I'm proud to be a part of it in whatever way, shape, or form.
That's funny because I had the tape, and I went to London at that time, and this cat heard it, and he was just like, I gotta have it. So I gave it to him because I was like, yo, I'm going back to DC anyway.
Right, you get
Probably see the Juma brothers will hook me up or something, like, you know.
Like you didn't have $5.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But it was dope because seeing someone from another country like liking it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
it's just like, I was like, here,
Yeah.
let all of London hear it. You know
Hey,
what I'm saying?
I
Just
appreciate
like
that. I appreciate that because that vibration, it meant a lot. Like I said, I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to on the tape, but just the professional process in which going out there to get
but
it
look,
printed.
you got your tongue with the beatbox.
Hey.
Hey.
And I don't know if anybody ever got that done. So, you know, that's like people forgetting that Greg Nice was a beatbox for Mantronics back in the day. You know what I mean? Like Tila Rock and stuff. So shout out to Tila Rock, one of my favorite MCs of all time.
Word up.
Yeah.
That's
DJ Louie Lou.
So how were you introduced to the Amphibians collective?
You, man. You and your brother. Straight up. I mean, it's always been family.
Right.
When we were at HR 50, we saw each other at HR 57. We walked around Georgetown together with the baby box a couple times. We were down there and we ran into some. All right, I'm gonna hit you to some game. I'm gonna blow some dust off the memory. German television.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's all I gotta basically say on that. Word. German public television. I think. Does somebody still have a VHS? I thought somebody has the VHS of that still.
I have
like
mine, but it doesn't work. But
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's how things got really, really tight with us. Is meeting in Georgetown, have to go through that process, wearing the same clothes every day for continuity.
Right. Big up to Steve. Steve's the one that actually put that together.
Yeah.
Through Tony Blackman.
Yeah.
So
that was dope.
It was interesting.
It was dope. It was dope because, as I said, it was something. When you're walking around with a radio, you just rhyming, and then some dude just rolls up on you, and like, do that again, and then you think 2 or 3 weeks later, you know, you in a studio with a green screen, and then it's on public television in a country you haven't ever visited. It's like,
right. I mean, they made us do funny things, like when Shamir had to, like, you know, rhyme near the
I think some statue or something. Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, it's good practice, and you learn a lot from the.
Definitely. It was.
Yes, I said for continuity. Yes, I did say for continuity. Yes, we had to wear the same clothes every day. They kept telling us come back in the same clothes, so we would have continuity.
So
and
you're saying
ended up having to take Jamal to the airport, and they showed the plane taking off after. Yeah, Troy gonna tell the truth. Yeah.
You so you met the Amphibians through, like, you were saying probably through Freestyle Union, right? Or before?
Around the same time, because I was always going to Duke Ellington anyway, because I was working there in the summers doing street theater. So I had some familiarity with the building, with you guys, with meeting Khalil. It's always, you see the faces, but you may not necessarily have all the names.
Right.
And then you get them away from, you know, I'm an outsider from Duke Ellington because I didn't go there. I knew some girls there, but I didn't go there. So when you see those people outside of that element of Duke Ellington and see them in a place like HR 57 or downtown in Georgetown or someplace else when they're rhyming at Nyala or 1414 U Street, you know, Copper House or something, then you hear their name again and you're like, oh yeah, he's dope or he's whatever.
Right.
And you pound, give each other a look, and then it grows from there. You respect each other. And I think that's where it all came about. Us being in the same places at the same time, doing the same thing, and then appreciating each other's vibe, appreciating each other's energy. And then, yeah, with your brother, I mean, we ended up sitting next to each other almost every, we sat next to each other more often than not at every freestyle union sort of event. Maybe not to practice, right? Maybe not just the HR 57 sessions, but like when we actually had to perform or something, we would find each other somehow. We'd be vibing, and then we end up over there. So yeah, that's how that sort of clicked up, and then it was almost not, I won't say inseparable, but it was the way we wanted things to be. It was just we liked it. We liked it that way.
Right. You recorded a song called "Righteous Love" with Philly and Slim Cat.
Yeah.
Can you explain what was that like?
Yo, that's the love of the art. I drove, I think Aquaman's, I call him Aquaman still.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know,
it's fine.
I call him Aquaman, but shout out to him too. I drove to his crib because your brother was already there.
Right.
And he was like almost 2 hours away. He was way up in Bethesda somewhere or something. And he had his setup in the basement there. I was in the basement, and it looked like an aquarium because of all the siding on the walls and all of the insulation and all this other stuff. And I drove like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I can't remember how long. I was getting lost. You know, I had the old Sprint phone, so that was terrible. And got there, and within an hour and a half, 2 hours, a blizzard came. And we got shut down. Like, I couldn't go home if I wanted to. And we were not complaining because we took my 4-wheel drive Pathfinder, drove straight to 7-Eleven, got a whole bunch of junk food, put the 4-wheel drive on, went back, and we just stayed in the studio for the next 2 or 3 days, man. And it was, to me, I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah.
Being around all of that inspiration, being around your brother, being around Slim Cat, and just working and enjoying each other's company, sleeping every once in a while. Sort of the same process. Zach is in there working, tapping on some stuff, chopping, and he finds something. He's like, oh, okay, this is the groove. And I'm like, oh, what's the hook? What we working on? Oh, it's done? All right, let's go. And then we get in there and start writing. Hour later, we just put some stuff to paper. And then we did not only the Righteous Love. After we did Righteous Love, I think we let somebody hear it on us. We let somebody hear it that same day on the phone. And Zach was like, yo, this song is fresh. So he let the girl hear the song. She's like, yeah, it's good. She called back later. Zach had already made another beat, and we decided to do the remix that day, like within that same session, I think.
The part 2, yeah.
Part 2. So when we did part 2, when she called back, I had her voice act like she was angry with me in the middle of the track.
Angela.
And, yeah. She's like, echoed her voice and stuff. Just freaked it out. And then I was like, we through. So we went and did the remix of that. And then with you, we did with that was my first almost production credit, finding the sample for The High.
Oh my God.
yeah. Think I forget.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, think I forget.
So that was a song reference to Dehasia. Yeah.
Yeah, that we did that same 3-day session. We did that as well.
Right.
And
Yeah, that song is very dope. Every time I listen to it, I do come back to listen. I'm like, what the hell am I talking about?
hey,
This girl
hey,
had me.
but the
This
song,
girl
yeah,
had
but
me twisted. Like,
okay, well,
don't talk about that now.
we all have our points when our nose is open.
But the beat,
Shatunga played some joint when I had this song called Intimacy, which is ridiculous. My nose is open too, so that's a whole nother story. So we all have one,
yeah.
but
But
we
nah,
wish we never recorded.
Zach killed that joint. That
Yeah,
joint, and then like the
the
Biz
drums on
Markie
that is crazy.
sample
Yeah,
in that song was so dope. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I just saw
I
Jay
like the
Scales
song.
is in the building.
I
Is
just
that Jay Scales there? Yeah, and yeah, I see you. Tongue was laughing at me because he literally like sent me a sample of me singing some terrible love song called Intimacy back in the day. That's why he's crying at me right now. I just want to say what's up to Jay Scales. I saw her; she came into the chat for a second.
word.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the story of that, man. It was sitting
Mm-hmm.
around with a dictionary or some nature book and some other stuff and just reading things. And then when Zach says, okay, the beat is done,
Right.
we just went to work and
We were
recorded
stuck in a
together eventually.
blizzard, y'all. So we
Stuck in a
couldn't get
blizzard.
out. We couldn't get out the boonies either way. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
made songs
Yeah.
then and there.
That's a,
Big up
that's it.
to big up
That's it.
to Slim Cat, Aquaman.
Yeah.
For that.
Got our Aquaman on. So
Word.
I mean, that to me was one of my favorite songs. One of the favorite songs I recorded.
Right.
Because of who was involved
Mm-hmm.
and the circumstances in which it was recorded. So, yeah, that will
Very
always be
dope.
one of my
Very
favorites.
dope. Let's talk about the Rock Creek Academy.
Ooh.
What was the
Oh, I will
concept
ask.
of
I'm
that?
gonna do that, and I'm gonna answer Jessica's question is Amsterdam. The zip code is 020 Amsterdam. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, going back to Rock Creek Academy. To me, a very unique experience. I'm very proud to have worked there with so many amazing educators and so many amazing students. And yeah, man, it's a life changer. It's a game changer. And that place, that set of years, 2002 to 2008 or 9, nothing else going to be like that. I don't think there's no doubt in my mind that there's never been so much talent, hip hop talent, under one roof in I probably say in any school that was actually working there, not the students, but the working there.
Mm-hmm.
Asheru was there, Zoe was there, Sub Z was working there, Khalil was working there. If you want, you know what I'm saying, he was there. I was there. Of course, Claude was there. Like every floor, every level, there were at least 2 drop dead amazing MCs on every single floor.
Right.
And at every sort of rung of the school, some of them were educators, some of them were working more with administration, some were other things. I was a guidance counselor there for a little while, so it had everything. It had everything there at the same time, working with those youth, and yeah, just an amazing time with some amazing students, and I hope everybody there from there is doing well. So
Word. Philly Foundation brief show in New York with
yeah,
the Chakima project from Amsterdam.
yeah,
What was your memories of that time? And explain how you got to reconnect with them
yeah.
later.
That's with the Venture Brother right there.
Mm-hmm.
2001, we had the brief concert. After that, we had made a promise to them to return the favor and come to their side of things and lend our artistic abilities to help them out in whatever they were doing. It took us a while. We were working at Rock Creek Academy at the time on Connecticut Avenue in DC, and that was me and Khalil. And we booked a trip to come in 2006, I think it was. So it was about 4 or 5 years later. We thought we were going to go right away, but we saved up the ducats. We weren't able to book the time to be there, so we flew and came over, and we immediately connected with Controverse and some other artists happened to be around here through Joy and through Kita, her girl. So they put us up in places with good contacts with some of the same names, DJ Switch, Concrete, some of the same people who came, but they were spread around the Netherlands. So they were in different cities and in different places, but we were able to put two and two together and be able to hook them up and at least see them and let them know that we were in the build, we were here, and we weren't going to just leave them out. We kept our word. We met some other people here. Yeah, Mr. Jamal was telling them, Joy, yeah. We met Miss Melody, another MC Melody. She was working at Fat Beats in Amsterdam at the time. And we made some other contacts as well, Big Boy Caprice, Complex. So a whole second set of crew emerged from our first trips over here. So we came over here together like twice, 2 or 3 times. And then once I moved here, Khalil's been coming through here as often as he possibly can, doing work and getting videos shot and recording more songs and stuff. So
we spoke about that in his Fresh Convos joint, his experience, and he told us a little about how you were there and stuff.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We did.
Really dope.
We got our feet wet here. We got our feet wet here, and we put the flag down, man. We put the flag down for the states, for DC, for the Amphibians and everything, and it worked out well. There's always
really
bumps
dope.
in the roads, always things you could have done differently or whatever. But at the same time, like, learning process is the growth process. So I'm just proud of the work we did while we were here together on our trips, and I'm still proud of the stuff that we've recorded since we've been here and done some other things. So.
How did you get into capoeira?
Ooh, it's hip hop. Breakdancing when I was younger, it led me to this over here. I hope you can see it in the background. Bam.
All right.
That's one of my graphic displays. My lady gave me that as my birthday present a little while ago.
That's dope.
Basically, capoeira, it comes to us from Angola, region of Africa, and it's where breakdancing comes from. It can be violent, but in this form, it can be just a way of resistance, and it's a way to train in front of the oppressor. So a lot of people looked like they were dancing, they were doing certain movements, and those movements weren't meant to hurt or injure the person they were training with or dancing with, and it looked like they were dancing, throwing kicks and flips and stuff like that. But the songs they were singing were songs of resistance, and what ended up happening was there was hidden messages in those words, and that was the alert to let people know, this dance is going to turn deadly tomorrow, and we're going to do our best to no longer be slaves, be enslaved. We're going to break up out of here, and we're going to take some of their heads with us. And that's basically what it was about. So when I found out the cultural background to where hip hop and where breakdancing came from, it was already in me, So
you did capoeira in Costa Rica when you went to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I did capoeira in Costa Rica when I moved there. I did some capoeira before I even left Washington. I had already started training there at the FICA school there, and then I moved to Costa Rica and started training there as well. And then I kept it up, and I still do it here in Amsterdam every once in a while as well.
That's what's up.
How
is the music scene in Costa Rica?
Costa Rica has a vibrant music scene, man. They really love a lot of different styles of music. It's not just Latin music. A lot of people get down with rock and roll there. They love Metallica. They love a lot of the older bands.
Right.
But they love some of the new stuff too, and they definitely are down with hip hop. So
That's dope. Did
yeah,
you
Costa
did you
Rica is
do did
the
you
heart.
do music there, or were you
Yeah, I
more
did some
focused?
music there, but the music that I got into down there, which I really missed, because Costa Rica to me, and it's no offense to Washington, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Um, Spiritually, I'm more linked to Costa Rica because of the people and the green.
That's
The
what's
green
up.
down there, the rainforest, it does something to you, and the way that the people treat you there, it just the greatest resource for Costa Rica is their people.
Right.
Um, I have two sisters that I call sisters, and I mean that. And they may not be from blood, but Yannette and my sister Marisol, they're just they're family, and they treated me that way ever since I met them. And so, yeah, that's home.
That's
That's
what's
second
up.
home, definitely. But their music scene is very vibrant, man. They got house, they got hip hop,
Hmm.
they got of course reggaeton. They got a lot of rock bands. They do a lot of experimental stuff. They do, of course, the Latin styles of music, samba. They got just everything, man. Everything that you can think of is already there, and
That's
they
dope.
do it live. They do a lot of stuff live, and a lot of
That's
electronic stuff too.
that's
So it's
dope.
kind of cool.
When
Yeah.
did you become Kyoti?
Ooh. I think that came 2000 and 2000. Let me think. It has to be before 2006. So I say around 2004 or five, because I was working on music with. Let it be known. We were doing Freestyle Union. We were doing Amphibians, doing Hibernation, all these different groups. And for me, the idea of it was beautiful. I mean, I still love hip hop, and I was loving the energy and what I was getting out of it and what I was putting into it. But I think honestly, after when Philly Foundation was working and we were doing things and building that, I was really, really happy. But also, I wanted to see more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to make more music. And I didn't feel that I was honoring the memory of our fallen people. I wasn't honoring like Joy and your brother.
Hmm.
And I wasn't honoring people like Scotty Beats. I wasn't honoring people like what's my man who used to work Timex.
Timex, yeah, yeah. Rest in
There's
peace, Timex. Word.
so many people that I knew, shook hands with, that I was like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna get this done.
Hmm.
And it felt like the words that were coming out of my mouth, being indeed, I wasn't keeping that word because our music wasn't coming out the way I wanted it.
Right.
Like I was like, nah, I'm not keeping up to that name, to that moniker. So it's gotta be, it's gotta change. I gotta change. So I gotta
Right.
go on some routes and figure some things out for myself.
Hmm.
And that started me doing more traveling. So I started going to Costa Rica and Iceland and Cuba and um, Belize and Guatemala and like
Wow.
Toronto. I was going everywhere. And those travels, people were like, damn, dude's traveling all over the place. What's he looking for? And that sort of led me to the idea of looking for the ideal thing, the idealism, wanting to knock down these barriers, wanting to knock down these excuses for us not doing what we needed to do. For me, myself, personally, not doing what I felt I needed to be doing. And
Right.
that led to the name change.
Okay.
It led to me thinking like, okay, introspective wise, you are very much an idealist. Even at Rock Creek, I was an idealist, and I wanted more, more, more. Nothing was enough. And Cat's like, man, you too. Nothing is enough for you. You can't turn it off. I'm like, nah, I can't, because I owe these people. I
Right.
owe these people, and so I owe the debt. So they were like, So he's too much of an idealist. But Keyote, Don Keyote, was an idealist as well, and he felt he could save the world and save the maidens by tripping these windmills up.
Right. You
So
had an
eventually, I
album
actually,
called. You had an
hence,
album you put out called Kyoti.
yeah, well, that album was said and done. That little EP was said and done
Right.
because basically what I wanted to do, I'd done video, I'd done film before, I'd done acting before. I've been in a couple of I've been published before writing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd done some work with the youth. I'd already had CDs put out for them with them, and I said, now this is mine, and said and done. I said it. It's finished. I checked it off the box, and then I could move on. But I still wanted to record, so and that's what I'm working on now is
Yep.
new music, new writing, and new production. I have podcasts and
Mm-hmm.
all types of stuff, man.
Let's
Trying
talk
to get.
about your group, Afro
Yeah.
Grooves.
Wow. Okay. Well, Afro Grooves. I'm glad you brought it up. Afro Grooves this is some of the music that I found when I was in Costa Rica and going to Cuba. Some of the music, hip hop is a music of resistance and wanting things to be improved and changed. So so is Afrobeat. So
Yes.
is most important music is about resistance to the status quo and trying to improve things for the people in and around a certain community. And Afrobeat is where I found myself presently working with Afro Grooves. Afro Grooves is a collective of people who are not only musicians, but who are also doing community work.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing it with nonviolent tactics, sit-ins, protests, educating youth, getting them some of the same things that the Philly Foundation was on, getting kids art supplies, getting them access to museums, things like that. So we are working to make sure that those kids, whether they be refugees or people who were born here in the Netherlands, they get access to that.
Right.
Um, and we are working really closely with some people from Fela's own band to create some new music. I'm composing now, so I'm composing songs that we will use that will help us carry themes to fight the good fight, basically getting good
There you
trouble.
go.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing some resistance movements and making sure that we talk about issues that affect all of our communities, whether it be racism, whether it be sexism, whether it
Right.
be any of those sorts
So
of
you're
rights that we
composing,
stand
and
for.
you also were a DJ for the group, right?
Yeah, I'm a member of the band by DJing, by using my turntables to provide instrumentals and beats and things like that for the band
Mm-hmm.
itself. And then also, I still rhyme. I'm still rhyming with them, and sometimes singing, playing percussion. And then I'm also writing some of the songs now. So while I'm writing them, write and arrange not only the lyrics but the music. And then with Abriel, one of our members, we are pinning some songs together
Right.
and
Right.
putting those in so that we'll be able to talk
Where
instead of
can
just
people
covering stuff.
whoa, where can people hear the music?
Afro Grooves has a website. Um, well, not really a website, but I think we definitely have IG page, so you can check out Afro Grooves on the IG page. It's all one word, Afro Grooves. We have IG page, and we have instead of a website, I should have said just a YouTube channel, so you can check some of the live performances from the group there.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
yeah, and
Word.
Sydney's in the house. Hey, Sydney. And that lady, she's one of the best, unbelievable. Check her out, everybody who's here. Please, please check her out because she's one of the best poets that I've heard since I've moved here.
There
And
you
she
go.
speaks on some very dope and very important issues.
What are
And
your
thank you,
what are your
thank you,
thoughts
thank you.
about
What?
the Amphibians getting back together at this time?
It's time. It's time.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not going to talk about the past and what could have been. I'm just glad that things are where they are and making progress towards what they can be.
Right.
So I'm ready to record and write with anybody that's really trying to get something done.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we this is our moment. You know,
What has been keeping you busy during this pandemic?
Keeping me busy during this pandemic. Writing and pure love.
There you go.
This guy. This guy.
Pure love. All
yeah.
right.
So Z and is the thing that keeps me mostly energized, motivated. Besides my partner in crime, Cleo.
Right.
She's been the cornerstone for all my positivity recently. But that's my main motivation. That's my son. My just like they say, the song's coming out and it's called "The Sun Gonna Shine."
Right.
So
what is the future for Keyote?
Future for Kyoti is going to be bright. The EPs, 2 EPs will be coming out in the next few months. More music, solo music, more music, hopefully with more Amphibians. Afro Grooves will be having more music coming out that I've been writing, and will be hopefully featured on a couple of tracks as well. And also a book that's coming out, and that book is a compilation of poems and short stories that I've been writing, and that will be accompanied with videos that will support some of that art. And I have to shout out my man Rodney Buck Herring for providing the art cover for such a meaningful project to me. So
where can people find you on social media?
They can find me here at IQ, at IG. But also, I'm going to start putting more stuff here as well as on Facebook, and they can also catch me on Twitter.
Yo, everybody give it up for my man, Keyote, aka Indeed, aka Steve-O, from Amsterdam. We're going to be hearing more stuff from him. And also,
aka Papa.
There you go. And remember, check out next Wednesday, we got SB Methods.
Yeah.
So episode 9. And then don't forget Friday, we got Boogeyman Ghost with the years for his birthday.
Yeah.
So he's gonna release the years. And I thank you very much.
Hey man, I appreciate it. You know what, bro? It's always love. It's always love. Love y'all since day one. I want to shout out to everybody who came and joined us in this hour. Big Jess, Boogeyman Ghost,
definitely,
everybody else.
We'll just throw the A's up for right now.
Yeah, put the A up. Put the A up.
The A up.
A up for everybody.
Amphbns, we're coming.
A to Z. That's how it go.
We're definitely.
Right. Even asthmatics. I'm gonna try to stay away from the speaker. Yeah. I rock lyrics on the daily. Maybe you can follow. Come swallow the lyrics when people be praying. Who knows what they be delaying? Never freestyling. Never doing the written. Who knows what the written? I get spirituality within the content. Or should I say I express the verbal context? While people start to flex, people follow me. Coming to my colony. Obviously it's no freestyle be the spirit. Coming from the most high as I honor him. Because people are continuously missing the messages that are coming down to earth as we developing this planet, damaging souls because it's scandalous. I don't know, people don't know how to flow, so I have to flow like H2O combined with the air. That be the chemical toxins around me, surrounding my boundary. Filthy is the name, intricate and living. I do it not for the fame, but for the street spirit. That's the way it goes. I'm equivalent to ignorance when it attacks me. But I spit blasphemy. I got the power like art doing this thing. Celebrity suddenly with ugly MCs approach. I hope to not see them, but I don't care. I pray to Jesus that I can be the truest fetus on this planet. That's the way it goes when I'm just doing like this. Yeah, Philly thought to catch record.